I think what's important now is for us to understand that Jon Gruden's not unique. Jon Gruden's a powerful decision maker. There are a lot of other powerful decision makers who harbor the same views as Jon Gruden. So maybe your emails won't get leaked, but I think this is a moment for people who think like that to have a reckoning with themselves. And you don't get to just point at Jon Gruden and say, Jon Gruden, you're a racist. Jon Gruden, you're homophobic, or you're sexist. You can do that. That's fine. But he ain't the only one. Like, Jon Gruden isn't an American aberration. Jon Gruden is the same. There are a bunch of people like him in other positions of power, and I think that they should not be let off the hook today to be able to point at him and say how terrible a person he is and absolve them from their guilt or their responsibility going forward. So I think that's the most important thing we have right now. And I just also want to highlight, while we focus on the homophobic slurs and the racist things and the sexist things, it's also important to understand that he was coming after the league's initiatives for player safety. Right. We've discovered back around that time, around 2007, 2008, we discovered that the league was lying about the impacts of head injuries on the players, and that it was causing CTE, early onset dementia, long-term issues for the player. Jon Gruden signs a 10-year, $100 million contract, and before he signs that, he's complaining about the initiatives that would make it safer, improve the quality of life for the backs on which he's made all this money. Like, why do you care? Right. Like, that is offensive and hurtful and upsetting. But again, I just want to at least drive this point home again. Jon Gruden is going to pay a price for the things that he said. It's not just what he said, it's that he harbors those views and those influence the decisions that he makes while he's a person in power. He's going to pay that price. There are a lot of other people out there who are still in power and have those same views and feel the same way, who will not pay a price, but will be writing and talking and acting as if they are some progressive leader of justice and civil rights, and knowing at the same time they feel and agree with the same things. They hated Kaepernick kneeling. They hated anybody else kneeling. They had the same views about letting homosexuals openly participate in football. Like, those people are out there. Jon Gruden is not an aberration on his own. He's not doing it by himself. So I hope that this is an opportunity for a lot of people to do some soul searching, and not just white people, everyone do some soul searching about the way that you feel and the way that it influences the things that you do.
Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think what Nick just said is so true. Like, you know, we want to just put it on one person, and that's just not reality of where we sit in the society, right? I mean, we have all said things, we've all done things that we wish we could take back, but the continued behavior that he showed was just disappointing and classless. I mean, you know, there's every adjective you can use. But I will tell you, in our meeting this morning, I told you I was shocked. Listen, I only knew really the persona of Jon Gruden. I didn't know him as a man, other than, you know, hello, shake hands, that kind of thing, like events or as a coaching thing. But I was shocked. And you know, you looked at me, you were like,
got a good chuckle.
And then I was like, man, there's going to be some scared people today.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of, because there's just one person on this email. There's a lot of people, and it was a lot of things that shocked me about that it was in writing and that people were saying this and that it just went kind of, you know, like, this is how they talk. Yeah. It was eye-opening.
I think the comfort and the casualness, like the comfort suggests that, like, oh yeah, this is cool.
Right.
Well, to your point,
right?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue, right? Like, this is an email he sent to his friend, right? This is how he talks to his friend, or multiple emails he sent to his friend. And that's, see, I wasn't shocked, unfortunately, because, you know, I think there's a way people have talked for years that was, in their world, acceptable, and in the current one it's not, and for good reason. And so I think I kind of, in some way, on some level, believe Jon Gruden when he says I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I think it's just like this is sort of the language he uses with other football guys. And the lesson here is that you can't, right? Like, we have to get rid of these words and these terms and these ways of labeling people that make them feel like less than they are. And I think not realizing that that's the effect of these words is probably the thing of which Jon Gruden is the most guilty.
And maybe it's unfair of me, but I think that it's not just about the words. Like, I could care less about the words. It's about what the words tell us about the man.
The heart.
Yeah, you know, and so, like, the man and the decisions that he makes and the things that he does, like, maybe he wasn't trying to hurt people, and nobody was hurt, assuming that the people who were on the other end of that email were comfortable with the things that he was saying. But the problem is all the other decisions that he makes in his life going forward in that situation, like, Like those are the impacts that.
And you,
upset
and listen,
me.
you and I talk about this all the time. We all have biases that make decisions.
Right.
And to your point, this is a great time for everybody to look inward and go, man, what are my biases? But the problem for our game is that these biases and the decision makers that are being carried truly affect men's livelihoods, which is a difficult thing.
And you mentioned, and I want to bring Adam on this. You mentioned the idea of decision makers. You look at the comments, Adam. You hear what's being said. Dan mentioned he might not have intended this or might not have had that intent, but he is a leader. He had power over this organization and is a powerful figure in the NFL, and that makes a difference when you make these kinds of comments.
Well, you're talking about somebody in the position that he's in, with the ability to make the decisions he does, and have an entire organization, $1 billion organization, depend on his decisions. And Jon Gruden made the decision over 7 years of time to send repeated emails that were beyond insulting and offensive to certain people. To put it in writing is a decision that he made that he's going to have to live with forever. And when I spoke to people around the league last night, I don't know that they were surprised by his word choice. If you've been around Jon, he likes to just insult people and play around. That's Jon. But to put it in writing over 7 years was something left a lot of people dumbfounded last night.
The entire situation takes your breath away. It is stunning. It is shocking. And now Jon Gruden, again, out as Raiders head coach.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.